Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something, well, really fundamental, I think. What is empathy? And, how important is it when we need help or advice?
That's a huge question.
It really is. And it feels especially relevant now, doesn't it? Because we're seeing this global surge, really, of people turning to AI.
Mhm.
Things like ChatGPT, Google Bard, Meta's Llama, asking them everything, health questions, study help.
Even really personal, difficult stuff.
Exactly. Like we saw examples like someone asking, is it okay to lock my 4-year-old in her room? It's like people see these AIs as infallible, like they hold all the answers.
And that's exactly what we want to unpack today. We've gathered, well, quite a stack of recent research, studies from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Georgia State, Umeo, Edelbergs,
Wow.
and papers from big journals like Nature and Communication Psychology.
Yeah.
So our mission really is to pull out the key insights on this surprising relationship between humans and AI, particularly around mental health and empathy.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with a bit of history, because this idea of an AI therapist, it's not actually new, is it?
Not at all. It's kind of amazing, actually.
Wow.
Back in 1966, that's what, 58 years ago,
Wow.
Joseph Weissenbaum at MIT created ELIZA.
Eliza, right.
And it was genuinely pioneering. It was the first system, really, designed to try and make an emotional connection between a person and a machine just through words.
How did it even work back then?
It was pretty simple, actually. Pattern matching and substitution.
Hmm.
So if you typed, I feel sad,
Yeah.
ELIZA might respond, why do you feel sad? And if
Uh-huh.
you said, because I couldn't see my friend, it would ask, why couldn't you see my friend?
Ah, okay, sort of reflecting it back.
Exactly. It gave this kind of illusion of understanding. And apparently, even that little empathy, as they called it, was enough for people to connect. It led to this idea of scalable computational empathy.
Scalable computational empathy. Huh.
Yeah.
And ELIZA even got a Peabody Award back in 2022 for being so groundbreaking.
That's incredible. It seems almost, well, quaint now, but I guess back
It
then.
must have felt like magic, yeah.
Total magic. And it really does set the scene because even before ChatGPT blew up in late 2022, these kinds of chatbots, these conversational agents, they were already out there.
AI companions.
Right. And people were using them, especially, it seems, people feeling really lonely.
Yeah.
Okay, so if AI can mimic this interaction, let's get back to basics. What is empathy? How do we actually define it? Especially when we're comparing humans and AI.
That's a really crucial point. So in humans, we usually talk about three main types or dimensions.
Okay.
First, there's cognitive empathy. That's
Yeah.
basically recognizing and understanding what someone else is feeling, seeing it.
Got it. Understanding the emotion.
Second is emotional empathy.
Yeah.
That's where you actually sort of resonate with their feeling. You feel with them,
Yeah.
but you still know it's their feeling, not yours. You keep that separation.
Right. Feeling with them, not like them necessarily.
Exactly. And third, there's motivational empathy. This is the part that makes you feel concerned for them and actually want to do something to help improve their situation.
Okay. Cognitive, emotional, motivational. And the striking thing is, current AI, these big language models, they're already pretty good at the first one, right? Cognitive empathy.
They really are, yeah. They can analyze text, voice tone, even facial expressions in some cases to figure out the emotional state.
And this feels like a big, but they can't do the other two, the emotional and motivational parts.
That's the core limitation. They can imitate them, sure, if they're trained the right way. They can generate text that sounds concerned or resonant,
Right.
but they don't actually feel it. There's no genuine concern or shared emotion there. And when people find out it's an AI,
They feel differently about it.
often, yeah, it gets perceived as fake and judged quite negatively, which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does computational empathy even mean if it's not felt? What kind of connection is that?
But here's where it gets really, really fascinating. Because despite that lack of real feeling, some recent research shows a kind of paradox in how AI's empathy is perceived.
That's right. There was a series of 4 experiments, really well-designed, pre-registered studies.
And what do they do?
They had people, third-party evaluators, compare empathic responses. Some written by AI, some by humans.
Okay.
The participants read these empathy prompts like short stories about someone's positive or negative experience, and then they rated the responses.
And the human responses. Who wrote those?
Well, In the first couple of studies, it was just select non-expert people. But later on, they used responses from trained hotline crisis responders.
So actual experts in empathy.
Exactly. People trained to provide empathic support.
Then the results? This is the wild part, right?
It really was quite striking. Across all 4 experiments, the AI-generated responses were consistently rated as more compassionate.
More compassionate than the humans, even the trained experts.
Even the trained experts.
Yeah.
And people actually preferred the AI responses.
Wow. Okay, my mind is a little blown.
It challenges things, doesn't it? This idea that a machine's response could be perceived as more caring. And this preference held up even when people knew they were rating an AI response. The label didn't necessarily kill the preference.
So why? Any idea why the AI came out on top?
The research suggests it's about responsiveness. The AI responses were seen as more responsive. Specifically, people rated them higher on being understanding, validating, and caring compared to the human experts.
More understanding, validating, caring.
Yeah, and that seemed to explain, at least partly, why they got higher compassion scores overall. It also looked like the AI had an even bigger advantage when responding to negative situations.
Maybe because that's when we most crave that validation and understanding, when we're distressed.
That could well be it. Empathy is so strongly linked to helping people feel better when they're down.
Okay, so the perception is often better with AI, even knowing it's AI sometimes. But what about that feeling of being heard? Does knowing it's a machine ultimately change things?
Well, yeah, there's definitely nuance there. Another study, this one from March 2024, found something interesting. Initially, people who received messages written by AI felt more heard than those who got human messages.
More heard.
But, and here's the catch, it was like a bubble. As soon as they found out the message was from an AI chatbot, that feeling reversed. They felt less heard, and they saw that emotional stuff as, well, false.
Okay, so knowing the source really does matter in that context. Is that what some people call algorithm aversion, that sort of bias against AI once you know it's AI?
That could definitely be part of it, yeah. There might be an inherent resistance once the mask comes off, so to speak.
But does that mean talking to an AI is pointless if you know?
Not necessarily. There's a counterpoint here.
Yeah.
Just the act of talking about your feelings, of emotional disclosure, that can be really beneficial psychologically, whether you think you're talking to a human or an AI.
So the act itself helps.
It often does. Plus, the more familiar people become with AI and the more positive interactions they have, the more likely they are to overcome those initial negative biases. Familiarity can breed, well, maybe not contempt, but acceptance.
Right. Okay, so bringing this all together.
Yeah.
What does it mean for actual mental health care? If AI can express compassion so effectively, what are the real-world uses?
That's the big question, isn't it? And the potential practical benefits are, well, pretty significant. Accessibility is a huge one.
Because human therapy is expensive and not always available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Private therapy costs easily $100 to $200 a session in the US and EU. AI could offer something much more affordable. Plus, it could cut down waiting times, offer personalized options.
And the research suggests specific things AI could be good at.
Yeah, things like coaching, maybe providing some initial support while you're waiting to see a human therapist.
Yeah.
Helping with self-reflection, education about mental well-being. Even improving adherence to treatment plans or helping with emotional regulation techniques.
So it sounds like the idea isn't really AI replacing therapists, but maybe working alongside them.
Precisely. That's the hybrid therapeutic model that's getting a lot of attention. AI supports, it doesn't replace.
How would that look practically?
Well, you can imagine AI handling things like the initial patient intake, asking the standard questions, doing routine assessments. That frees up the human therapist for the more complex, nuanced work.
Okay.
Or maybe using AI within specific therapies like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
The AI could give real-time feedback, personalized tips, reminders. There are even government projects starting to look at this, like the EU's MNIR project.
MNNHR. Okay. So it's being explored at a policy level too.
It is.
But looking even further ahead, what are the bigger challenges? The broader implications of humans and AI working together like this?
Yeah, we need to think bigger picture. Frameworks like the STEP-S matrix help looking at social, technological, economic, political, and sustainability aspects.
Right.
Socially, like we discussed, there's this ethical point. You can't really hide that it's an AI. Once people know the empathy is mimicked, it often feels fake. So AI isn't replacing Freud anytime soon based on current reactions.
Okay.
Technologically, we need more research to tease apart the benefits of the AI's output from the negative judgment people have about its artificial nature. Is the advice good despite it being AI, or does knowing it's AI taint the whole experience?
That's a tricky distinction.
It is. And then there's sustainability. This is often overlooked.
How so?
Well, these large language models, they take an enormous amount of energy to train and run. Massive computing power, huge CO2 emissions.
So rolling out AI therapy bots everywhere could have a pretty big environmental cost.
It potentially could, yes. It's something we absolutely need to factor in when we talk about widespread use. It adds another layer of complexity to the cost-benefit analysis.
So it really sounds like the key is balance. Using AI as a tool, a strategic asset, like the research says, especially where human help is limited.
Exactly. But as a supplement, not a replacement.
Because relying on it too much, could that create other problems? Like maybe we start expecting that kind of perfect, unconditional support all the time.
That's a real risk.
Yeah.
It could potentially undermine human effort or change our expectations of relationships in ways we don't fully understand yet.
Wow. Okay. What a journey through this material. It's definitely surprising seeing how AI can express empathy so well, but also its very clear limits on feeling it, and then its potential as this helper tool.
Absolutely. And the main takeaway, I think, is that knowing this stuff is valuable, but understanding how to apply it, seeing it from different angles, that's where the real enrichment comes from. Always good to think critically.
Definitely. So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. If AI can, in some ways, deliver communication that looks more compassionate than even trained humans, how does that challenge our old ideas about care and connection,
Yeah.
especially online in this digital age?
Yeah. And what new responsibilities does that give us? How do we make sure we integrate this powerful tech ethically
Mm-hmm.
and sustainably?
Lots to think about.